Okay, we'll go ahead and get started today. So welcome to Triple M. My name is Sami, and in Triple M today, and well, in all of our Triple M classes that we do here, we'll start off with a little bit of movement, and then the last 10 minutes will be a guided meditation. Everything that I offer is just that an offering, so feel free to modify as needed. In particular, this is meant to be done in like whatever clothes you happen to have on. I just happen to be coming from a run, so I'm wearing kind of workouty clothes, but you can do this in whatever kind of clothes you were doing from work. And just kind of, if you need to modify based on what you're wearing, that's great too. So with that, we will go ahead and get started. A lot of us have probably been sitting for a lot of the day, so we'll go ahead and start standing. Take a couple shoulder rolls. You can start off nice and slow, bring the shoulders up towards the ears and then gently roll them down the back. Then bring the shoulders in front, up towards the ears, down the back. Take some nice big movements here, getting into all the nooks and crannies of your shoulder joints. And then you can let your shoulders come down to rest gently by your side. Eyes can gaze softly at a point at the wall or floor in front of you, or they can close gently all the way. Allow your attention to come to your breath, noticing the inhales and exhales. Maybe there's one spot where you feel your breath particularly strongly in your body. Maybe in your belly or your abdomen, or the sensation of air coming in and out of your nose, or that sound. A few more moments just to focus on your breath today. Note any qualities of it. And one deep breath in, let it fill all the way through your side body, back body. Exhale, let it all outside. If you close your eyes, you can open them back up. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the side. Take a big stretch. Maybe go onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bring your hands down by your side and gently bend your knees and fold all the way down to the ground. Let your head hang heavy towards the ground. Deep bend in the knees. You can rock from your toes to your heels. If you're not at the front of your mat or carpet or whatever you're using today, make your way there. And exhale, take your right foot back behind you, step it on the ground, right knee to the mat. Take the left knee to follow. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chin, forming a slight arch in the back, moving into cow. Exhale, press into your hands, round through the spine, other direction for cat. A few more movements of that cat-cow. Just moving on your inhales and exhales. Inhaling to cow, exhaling to cat. And then you can extend that motion. Maybe an arm and leg join in. Inhale, take the right leg back behind you, play with lifting it up. Exhale, pull the right knee into the chest, rounding. Inhale, send it out, little arch. Maybe now the left hand joins. Exhale, pull the left elbow to right knee. Inhale out long. Exhale in. Inhale out long. One more time, crunch in. Inhale out long and pause. Exhale, take the right knee to the ground. Inhale, lift the left arm up for a little twist. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, up and down. One more time. This time, pause for a moment. Take a couple arm circles. And then reach the left arm all the way up. Exhale, thread the left arm under the right, moving into thread the needle. Back of the left shoulder comes to the ground. The side of your head or your left cheek rests towards the mat. Take a few deep breaths here, twisting out the abdomen. And then from here, you can keep your hips up as they are here, or sink your hips back towards child's pose. Either way, keep your hands off towards the right side so that you have a big stretch throughout the left side body. So if your hips are up, looking something like this, arms reach out long towards the upper right side. And then whether your hips are lifted or down, walk your hands out towards center. Can give your forehead a little massage here from right to left in this child's pose or puppy dog pose if your hips are lifted. No matter where you are, walk your hands back in towards your head, lift back up into that cat-cow. Exhale, tuck the toes under, send the hips up and back. Keep the knees really bent here. So for a little downward facing dog, you can bend one knee more deeply and then the other, stretching out your calves. Exhale, roll forward, take your knees back on the ground. Another cat-cow, inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin. Exhale, release, rounding. And now the left leg gets involved. Inhale, send the left leg back behind you. You can lift it up. Inhale, grow long. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale out. Exhale, crunch it in. Maybe taking the right hand to get involved if the balance is there. Otherwise, just sticking with the left leg. Inhale out long. Exhale, crunch in towards the middle. A couple more times. Left fingertips pressing into the ground to help you stabilize. Inhale out long here. This time, take the left leg to the ground. Keep the right arm up. Take a little twist. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. One more time, grow tall. This time, exhale, sweep the right arm under, moving into thread the needle on the other side. Take a few deep breaths here. Let yourself relax into the twist. Stretching out the upper back as well as allowing a twist throughout the mid back as well. Moving into that side body stretch on the right. Take your hands out long in front of you to the upper left side. Can keep your hips up like this or take them back towards your feet like a child's pose. Either way, just working on stretching out the right side body. Deep breaths into the right side. You keep your hips lifted or send them back towards your feet. Either way, walk your hands forward, reach them long, reaching out all the way through your fingertips, stretching throughout your spine. Exhale, walk the hands back in towards your face. Lift back up to that tabletop. Exhale, send your hips up and back. This time, take your feet nice and wide and slowly walk your hands back towards you. Pause when your feet are all the way flat on the ground. Reach your hands out in front of you. Knees can stay a little bit bent here for this active forward fold. So arms are reaching forward, fingertips are trying to grip into the ground. Your seat is reaching back behind you, nice and long through the spine. A few deep breaths here. Stretching through the upper back. No tension in the head and neck here. And exhale, relax all the way. Let your feet heel toe towards your center. Inhale, grow long through the spine after that fold. Hands to shins for a little lift. Finding length. Exhale, release, and roll all the way up to stand, just one vertebra at a time. Take a few shoulder rolls here, coming back up. Shift your weight over to your left foot. Let your right leg lift off. Keeping the knee bent, letting the knee come just out in front of you, and first working on the balance here. You can stay here or take just some light little kicks backward and forward. Nothing too crazy, just gently going forward and backward. If you fall out of it, you can just pop back into it. And then turning this into some circles. So for the circles, kick your leg out in front and open it up and back. And then the other direction, kick your leg back, open it up, let it come in front. You can always grab onto something on the wall or a table nearby, whatever, to help balance yourself. Staying at the back of your right leg is lifted. Exhale, press the heel out in front. Maybe a lot of work now that we've been standing on that left leg for a while. And take a big step forward with your right leg, coming into a lunge. Left knee comes to the ground. Inhale, reach up, sinking in to your left hip. Exhale, reach the hips back. Right leg can straighten. Inhale, stretch forward. Hands frame the right foot. Gaze lifts, stretching out through the front of the left hip. Exhale, send the hips back. Right leg straightens. And we'll pause for a moment here in the front. Deep stretch in the left hip. This time, tuck your back toes under. You can keep your left knee on the ground or lift your right knee or your left knee up. Maybe arms lift up here too. If you notice your left hip coming backward, see if you can ask it to come forward and send your right hip back instead. So hips are moving squarely towards where your gaze is. Arms can come up in front of you or rest on your hips. Allow the work to happen for itself, just holding here. If you feel like you're a little bit too stretched out, you can always take your back foot in a little bit. Or if you're feeling too cramped out, you can always step back a little bit further. Get comfortable in your stance. Inhale, take the arms out in front of you. Exhale, sweep the right arm back, opening up for a little twist. One more time, inhale out in front. Exhale back for a twist. Can pause here or maybe try to reach the right arm back behind you, just lifting up. Exhale, take the hands back down to the ground. Left knee comes to the mat. Exhale, pick the right leg out. Give it a little shake after all that work. Exhale, right knee to the ground. Send your hips back up to downward facing dog. Let your feet come into a wide stance again. Fingertips walk back towards the feet for that active forward fold again. Little bend in the knees. Fingertips reach out in front of you. Keep it here. If this isn't working for you, you can always just hang heavy here in this forward fold. As you're ready, then heel toeing your feet a little closer together, like hips distance, and roll all the way up to stand. Shifting your weight onto the right foot now, let your left leg lift, left knee out in front of you. Play with the balance here. Can stay here or make it a little bit more focus on loosening up your left hip as you kick your left leg forward and back. If working forward and back feels good, maybe you play with opening up to some circles. Moving your leg up and then out and then back. And then the other way, back out and up, changing direction. It's okay if you fall out of it, or you can just use something for balance. Pause with the left leg lifted out in front again. You can try to straighten through your left leg. like you're kicking out in front of you. Inhale, grow tall through the spine, and exhale, take a big step forward. Let the right knee come to the ground. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, straighten the left leg, hips come back for a little half split. Inhale, hands can keep framing the left foot, moving forward for a stretch in the right hip. Gaze lifts. Exhale, hips come back, toes lift up for a half split. Moving through this one more time. On the inhale, let the stretch in the right hip come. Exhaling back into that half split. Inhale, moving forward one more time. And then from here, you can stay with your knee on the ground or take the right knee up, lifting up into the lunge. Either variation is great. If you chose to keep your knee lifted off the ground, you might have to adjust your stance a little, taking your left foot out, allowing enough space for your hips. You can take your arms out in front of you or at your hips, or any other arm variation that feels good. Notice any activation you feel here as your legs are working. Inhale, let the arms come out in front of you. Exhale, take the left arm back behind you for a twist, opening up towards your left side. Inhale, up in front of you. Exhale, opening up for that twist again. Can stay here this time or take the left hand to the right leg, reaching up with the right arm. Big stretch for the right side body. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, take both hands to the ground. Take your left knee back behind you. Both knees come to the ground towards tabletop. Little cat-cow to even out the spine. And exhale, lower all the way onto the ground, belly low. Take your arms out in front of you. You can come onto your forearms, lifting up the chest here. Activate not just through the belly here, but through the back of your body as well. Lower back engagement, glute engagement, leg engagement here can help keep your lower back safe. Can act like you're pulling the mat towards you, like your hands are pulling towards you. Deep breath in. Exhale, relax to the ground. Exhale, send your hips up and back to child's pose or puppy dog, keeping the hips lifted, or to child's, taking the hips back. Let your head rest on the mat for a moment. Allowing a few deep breaths here. Inhale, back up to tabletop. Here, we'll try a little foot stretch. Tuck your toes under and send your hips back, coming to sit on your heels so the backs of your feet are facing behind you. This can be a lot, so you can always just stay up like this instead and kind of play with shifting the weight forward and backward to give more of a stretch to the bottoms of your feet. While you're working on the bottoms of your feet, it can be nice to give your hands a little bit of attention. Take some movements here, interlacing your hands, doing some figure eights or circles. You can just give your hands a little massage too, rubbing the area between the thumb and the pointer finger. Maybe going down and rubbing your wrists a bit as well. They do a lot of work, especially with all the typing a lot of us are doing right now. I'm coming off of my feet because the stretch is getting to be a bit too much for me. You can do the same as well, or simply take a seat. If you're finishing up with that foot stretch, it can be nice to tap out the tops of your feet then. We'll end just with one more wrist stretch, moving forward. Let your fingers face back towards your knees so that your forearms are facing in front of you, and just gently rock forward, stretching out the forearms. As you're ready, you can make your way into whatever position you would like to take the meditation in today. That could be on your back, seated, standing, whatever feels good for you today. Standing can be nice if you know you're going to be sitting a lot later. If you'd like to lay down, it can be nice to keep your knees bent and up towards the ceiling with the knees collapsing in towards each other, maybe feet a little bit wider, like towards the edges of whatever surface you're laying on, just for a bit more support. So take a minute just to get comfortable. I'll be taking a seat, but I'm going to get a pillow to prop my hips up on. And take any fidgets you need here. There's this notion that whenever you're meditating or whatever, being mindful, you need to be completely still, and often discomfort is associated with that, but that's not the case at all. If you need to move to be comfortable, you should do that. But you should ask yourself if you're moving just because you're kind of bored or fidgety, or if you're moving, because you're discomforted, because these are very different sensations. So moving into stillness, either, standing, sitting, laying down, you can close your eyes or gaze at some point on the wall, ceiling, or floor in front of you. And allow yourself just to do a gentle scan of your body after the movement that we've done. Maybe there's something you notice that's different from when we started after some movement. Maybe things feel mostly the same. Either way is fine. And today, for our guided meditation, we'll work a bit with a with a breathing meditation that'll actually focus on like a hand position as well. So you can take your hands and just open them up. If you're sitting, you can let them on your lap. If you're on the ground, just leave them open beside you. And what we'll do is start with your hands open, nice and relaxed. And as you exhale, close your right hand. Inhaling, the left hand is open. Close the left hand. Exhale, open up the right hand. Inhale, keep the right hand open. Close the right hand. Exhale, open up the left hand. Inhale with the left hand open. Close the left. Open the right. Exhale. Inhale. Close right. Open left. Exhale. Inhale. Close left. Open right. Exhale. Inhale. Close right. Open left. Exhale. Inhale. Close left. Open right. Exhale. And then you can continue this at your own pace. Allowing a tactile sensation to help connect you with your breath. If you're not getting the hand motion as I said it, that's totally fine. Maybe you make up your own that makes more sense for you. Another way to connect your inhales and exhales with some movement in your body. If you notice your mind wandering, maybe you ask it to come back to this practice. If this hand breath practice isn't working for you, then you're welcome to just quietly sit and note your breaths without any hand motions or do something else that works for you today. We'll do a few more minutes of this in silence, and then I'll lead you out of it soon. If you've been doing the hand motions, allow your hands to stop and take a few deeper, fuller rounds of breath. If your eyes were closed, you can open them back up and take some gentle movements through your body, maybe a gentle twist from side to side, some more shoulder rolls, or maybe shaking your hips out, just depending on whatever position you took.